And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have quite a spicy match for us coming up here. We have Firefly versus Elazer, the Starving Camel versus the best Zerg in Poland himself. And Firefly has been doing pretty well for himself so far. He was able to take a series off of Hero yesterday, but had some rough showings against some of his other opponents, against Clem and against Rainer as well. But I want to believe. Again, if you've been tuning into our WTL cast, you know that we are big fans of Firefly. He's amazing, he's beautiful, he's a very creative player. He is very emotional as well at times, always popping off whenever he takes a win. And he even has an added bonus this time. He has the bonus of the grapes. And those are some big grapes. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing his new team, the Platinum Heroes, but also, I guess technically no longer a Starving Camel. He has the grapes. He is Firefly. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer. One of the best Zerg players that Europe has to offer. One of the best. And, you know, we have seen Firefly take down big Zerg players in the past. He has done it before. Can he do it again? We were talking about it yesterday, about how Firefly really thrives in the WTL format of predetermined maps. And, of course, losers picking the second map as well in these best of twos. So because of that, Firefly has been able to perform some amazing upsets against otherwise higher tier players. But in a more standardized format where you have vetoes and where you don't know the maps coming into this, you don't have days to prepare ahead of time, in a qualifier or in an event like this, it can sometimes take away some of the strengths that Firefly has. But I want to believe he can make a series out of this at least. Let's go. For now, we do see a hatch gas pool opener here from Elazer. Nothing too crazy, everything looking normal. Meanwhile, back at home, Firefly going for a gate expand. Likewise, economic openers all around. I think this is the most emotional group. Oh, maybe. I haven't thought about it that way. I mean, you know, we have Rainer who's always smoging. You have Creator who's sometimes smoging as well in different ways. Firefly always popping off. Who are we missing? Clearly, Cyril, the most emotional player. He should be here. Okay, Cav. Max Fax is missing too. Yeah. If you remember, in the first couple of days, we were praising Max Fax for his ceremonies, his celebrations. I was looking really happy. But for the most part, maybe I agree. Bjorn, we're missing Bjorn, Papi. Bjorn is so wholesome. So wholesome. For the time being, though, Elazer just getting his third base up and running. Nothing too crazy. The Adept is going to be shading in, getting a read on, you know, any additional form of tech or gases, making sure everything is on the up and up, as Firefly is indeed going for a Stargate opener. And there it is. The first Oracle is on the way. So again, everything is looking as it should. But I expect craziness to ensue once that Oracle comes out. Before that happens, though, we do have two Adepts shading into the main base. 3 workers. Can we get a fourth? Not quite, but 3 workers going down. Not too bad. The downside is that upon losing all those Adepts, that does mean that Elazer has map control. He's going across the map, immediately looking to delay the third base. It's a risky maneuver to throw away your first couple of Adepts. Speaking of, we have another hit in the field. The first Oracle has to stay at home. The Lings have arrived. They want the probe. Oh, they will not get it. Oh, even activates the Pulsar Beam. A little bit rough there, but Elazer does end up wasting quite a... Firefly ends up wasting quite a bit of energy on this Oracle. So very nice move out of Elazer, just faking out his aggression. Aye, aye, aye. And from here, Firefly is just going to be getting into a second, soon to be a third Oracle as well. But after losing a bunch of energies, kind of doesn't have as much potential for damage as he otherwise did. So Elazer's safe. He's safe to just drone as heavily as he can. And boy, oh boy, is that what Elazer does. He's kind of known for his greed. Even in this matchup, we have seen in the past, even if Elazer loses like 10 workers to Oracle Harass, like he's fine. Just because he's just cutting Lings and making so many more drones behind it. Meanwhile, we do see a Warp-in Force back at home. Adept's going to be threading a shade into the natural. Oh, and they will commit. Lings are waiting for them, though. The Queens do fend off the Oracles as well. Oracle's going to find some workers. Up. They catch some train workers as well. The Oracles barely do make it out alive. 5 drones in total. We get a 6. Not too bad here for Firefly. But again, did throw away all of his adepts. And once again, that means that the Elazer can be a little bit more active on the map. Behind this, we have a +1 on the way. We do not have a Twilight Council, which is very odd. Huh. So no Blink, no Charge, no Glaives. I guess we're going to be working on Immortal production. Are we just going to go for a, like, kind of a Soul Train-esque push? Yeah, there we go. Immortal Sentry. Additional gateways, still no Twilight Council. Oh boy, okay, this is something that we have been seeing a little bit from players like Creator. These big all-ins, essentially. Vanilla gateway units alongside Sentries, Force Fields, and Immortals. So we have 3 more workers going down. Oh, the Oracle does get targeted here in between the bases. And this is essentially a 3-base all-in. I say essentially, just because we don't have any other form of tech. Like, there's no Temple Archives, there's no Robotics Bay. We are taking additional gases, to be fair. So Firefly may be getting ready for a transition. Oh, never mind. Never mind, he cancels the gases. Doesn't need them, doesn't want them. And we are just committing to one big push. It's going to hit with +1, so a very crisp timing. And I wonder if Elazer saw that, by the way. Did he see the gases? He saw that there were no gases. And here we go. It's all or nothing for Firefly. What do we have at home to defend? We do have some Ravagers being morphed in. Ravagers are going to be key to deal with these force fields. We have a lot of energy available for Fireflies. We're pushing out across the map. 14 Stalkers, 2 Immortals, 6 Sentries. And there are only 3 Ravagers. Not too much energy for those Corrosive Vials. Lings are coming in from behind. And the Banelings are about to waddle in. Up! Oh, clutch force fields. Banelings, they will not get in until now. They do connect with the Sentries of all things. And it looks like Elazer may just have too much. Down to the Oracles. Trying to get on top of the Immortals. As I say that, these Immortals, they're doing a lot of damage in the back line. The juggling is looking pretty damn good. The Roaches are going down. At the same time, though, Firefly's army is getting very battered, very bruised. Up! The Prism barely survives, but it looks like Elazer is barely cleaning this up. If he was able to warp in, then maybe Firefly would have been able to keep those Immortals alive. But Elazer holds. He does hold on, and now Firefly is in a really rough position. This Nexus is a little bit of cope. Yeah, there we go. GG gets called. And Elazer takes game number 1. GG. Again, that was a 3-base all-in coming out from Firefly. And it was looking pretty powerful, looking pretty potent. I was really concerned with the lack of Ravagers that Elazer had, but the Banelings finished up just in time, and the Banelings, they dealt with that force field problem, with that sentry problem that he had knocking down his door. Oh, solid force fields, the Queens coming together as well, and yeah, solid defense from Elazer is going to take a lead in this series. We'll see if he can take the entire series here, as Game 2 is going to be on Neo-Humanity. All right. Neo-Humanity, much smaller map, of course, has defensive properties, but I don't really think Firefly is one to force the late game. He's not. He's a very aggressive player. Very, as we just saw, he's willing to go for these big all-ins, big unorthodox plays, looking to catch his opponent off guard. And that's why if Elazer plays that very safe, focuses on scouting, just slow and steady, I do kind of want to give Elazer the edge here, but we'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, Firefly, what does he have in store for us? Again, Neo-Humanity, the rush distance by ground is pretty short. Because of that, we do see a lot of like Roach Queen all-ins on this map. It does happen quite frequently. Likewise, we could also see the inverse. We could also see the Protoss try to go for an all-in as well. But after game one, it may not be the wisest of choices. I feel like Elazer is now on notice. Now he's ready for something weird, for something quirky. He's ready for an all-in. Mentally, at least. So we shall see. It's going to be on Firefly. Going to be on Firefly to bring it back here to force the ace match. To bring it all the way. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo-Humanity, we have a camel that is no longer starving. He's got some big grapes. They're keeping him well fed. Now representing the Platinum Heroes, the Chinese Protoss player, it is a Firefly. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Zerg player. For Team Liquid, it is Elazer. And now the question becomes, was Firefly's power, was it in the fact that he was starving? You know, he was starving for the win, starving for more. And now that he's got his grapes, he's satisfied, you know, he's content. He's lost his fire, he's lost his drive. I think it's too early to say that, but look, I'm just saying those are big grapes, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Firefly in the upcoming season of WTL. Wish him the best. Hope he can perform and really showcase his skill for his new team. Yeah, and he's a great player in the WTL format, and I would hate to see him underutilized. That was definitely something that happened with Platinum Heroes when it came to their pickup of Vindicta. So I do hope that Firefly will be able to, you know, be fielded a little bit more often and showcased more often as well. As for now, we do have some pretty standard openers. We do have a Gate Expand here from Firefly. Gate Expand into Cybercore, so a little bit more greedier than we are usually expecting. Likewise, Elazer across the map going for a hatch gas pull. Nothing too crazy. He's going to be working on his queens, working on his lings, and just saturating his bases. And yeah, things are going to be settling down for the time being. And when it comes to aggression on this map, because the rocks can be knocked down, it does kind of create does allow the pathway across the map to be that much faster, that much shorter. I mentioned earlier that, especially if the Zerg player takes the center base, they can launch their creep forward, and we can see these big Queen Roach all-ins off of 3 bases. But we can see that Elazer is taking the triangular third base instead, so a little more safer, a little more standard, less aggressive. And I don't think Elazer needs to be the aggressor in this series. Do you think that he's favored even in a longer game? Just needs to calm down, Bobby, calm down. As the Adepts are coming together. And yeah, Firefly is going to be looking to get a little bit of economic damage in the early game. Try to bypass the Queen, but the Lings have arrived. Second Queen pops out, and the Adepts do manage to slip into the main base. They get 2 workers, 3 drones even. Can we get a 4th? Up! Up! Oof, not quite. 3 workers for 2 Adepts. I don't think that was quite worth it. Just like last game, basically when those 2 Adepts die, it does give Elazer free range to go across the map and to delay that Nexus. Lings are on the way. Firefly is trying to keep his probe hidden. As he does throw down the base, and Lings have arrived. They're going to be able to get a kill on that probe, but they don't delay the base yet. Oh, they're already doing quite a bit of damage to it, but Firefly's going to be able to hold on. Oh, Elazer, he wants that adept, but he won't get it. As, of course, Firefly did go for a Stargate opener. We have our first Oracle already out. And because of all these Lings, the Oracle is forced to stay at home a little bit longer. But we're soon to have our second. Again, 2 Oracles, they can one-shot workers. So there's a bit of a power spike once they do pop out. Firefly can once again be active on the map. Back at home, Elazer is just going to be happily droning, saturating his bases. He has 2 queens at the third, he has 2 queens in the main, and 2 queens at the natural. So even if the Oracles had popped up before the Spores finished, Elazer would have the tools he needed to defend, and the Spores are now done as well. For the most part, the Spores are done. Still on the way at the third. And here we go, Firefly. He pulls everything together. His Adepts, his Oracles, going to be threatening a shade into the natural. This is exactly what he did in Game 1. Very similar play from our Chinese Protoss player. Lings come out to meet this. All 3 Oracles are joining forces, but we have Queens to deal with them. As the Adepts do shade past, but they are being hunted down. The Adepts, they do nothing. We have Lings across the map as well. There is no shield battery. Uh-oh. No shield battery means that this Adept is also going to fall. And we have a massive surge of Lings coming across the map. Oracles are going to do what they can, but every probe is going to go down. And the Lings, they can just back off, wait for the Pulsar energy to run out, and then come back in. Behind this, Elazer double expanding, taking his 4th and 5th base. We have a Roach Warren on the way, Evo Chamber, gases. Elazer, he's got a lot of freedom. He has a lot of breathing room. He wants the sentries up. He shouldn't get them. He shouldn't get yeah. It was close. But the sentries do survive. Oracle's coming in for a scout. We can see once again a very similar setup. We're missing something. We have a Forge for +1. We have a Robo. No Twilight Council. There is no Twilight Council, so no Blink, no Charge. We're not really going to have too much of a presence on the map, and in general, the gateway units of Firefly are going to be worse. But he's actually rushing into a 4th base. Interesting. This is really peculiar. So everything that we're seeing so far screams 3-base all-in again. This is just like that previous game, except for the fact that we have a faster 4th. And to be fair, the 4th is going to be cancelled. Or is it? We do have the Lings arriving, but the Oracles are going to be able to rotate over. And they do keep the 4th base alive. I wonder if this 4th is fake. No, it's not. Okay. We are building up our gateways. Pylons on the way. I spoke too soon as... Yeah, the Lings arrived just in time. Elazer looking to go for a massive push here. He's saturated on 3 bases. 59 workers is what he's cutting at. And we have a massive push coming across now. We have Queens coming in as well. The Overlords, they can spread creep. We can transfuse. There are no... Oh, there's only 1 shield battery. And it's not in range. The Queens, they have arrived. The Lings arrive as well. And Firefly just doesn't really have much of a standing army at all. He was not ready for this. He was focusing on his greed, on his expansions, on probing, not on making his army. GG gets called, and Elazer takes game number 2 and the series 2-0. GG. Oh, really interesting play out of Firefly is what I would say. Yeah, punished hard for cutting some corners, though. Unfortunately, again, no Twilight Council, no upgrades. And he wasn't scouting either. Despite having all 3 of those Oracles, he wasn't keeping tabs on the bases, the worker count, or the army of Elazer. So he just wasn't able to keep up. Wasn't able to recognize what was happening until it was far too late, until Elazer was in his face. And GG, very powerful play out of Elazer. My condolences to Firefly, but he will have a chance at redemption later on in the evening, as he still has a couple more matches ahead of him. Meanwhile, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we have a PvP between Hero and Creator. See you soon.